and welcome back for a special late night Saturday edition of Grade A Picks on Prize Picks. This is your favorite YouTuber prop picker, Grade A Fantasy, here with a little update. So I also, along with yesterday's episode, made my cards, but here's a card that I definitely want to talk about and why these are interesting picks. Like I said, the Kamara pick was already one of my faves, and luckily it hasn't moved, so it's still 5. But these two picks here, the reason why I have those here, here's the big news. So, Tank Dell, Dalton Schultz are both at 3.5 receptions. This to me is very easily obtainable because ruled out for the week is Robert Woods. He's out with a foot injury. He was ruled out about yesterday. I think after those Friday practices when some of the official rule outs are starting to be made. So with that being said, there are targets to be had here. With Robert Woods out, target-wise, forget catches, target-wise, from the beginning of the season, 10, 9, 6, 6, 9. Reception-wise, without counting the New Orleans game because he only had 3 targets and 1 reception, we got 3, 3, 3, 6, and 6. So you could at least split those in half. And amongst these two people, expect at least one extra reception, which is key for such a low reception prop. And since it's so correlated and so concentrated with CJ Stroud, with Tank Dell coming back, they're gonna be eager to get him the ball. That I think with Robert Woods out and being so target dominated so far early season, along with Nico Collins, the rest of those passes have to go somewhere. Going along with that, you also have to understand that CJ Stroud, except for one game, has been allowed to throw this ball a whole lot. Forget the pass completions, just the pass attempts. Okay, last week was actually his lowest of the season. Well, a couple weeks ago, because I think they were on bye last week. 27 attempts against New Orleans. Before that, 35, 30, 30, 47, 44. Now, yes, Noah Brown does step into the fold, but when Noah Brown gets in there, he's not really being looked at. He's there. He's supposed to be this, explosive slot receiver, but forget whatever his stats were. 2 targets, 3 targets, so 5 targets in 2 weeks. Tank Dell is back. That's CJ. Besides Nico Collins, obviously, he's the number one. But him and Tank Dell was definitely developing something from about week 2 to week 4 before Tank Dell was out with injury. So CJ Stroud definitely has the capability to make this a very easy over. As you can see here, I also did a couple of other things with the Jalen Hurts prop like I talked about yesterday, and I power played that with my favorite picks. And then I did another flex with that just in case if it doesn't go through. But I really do think that these reception props, these could be flexed, these could be comfortably power played. Power plays seem to be pretty safe once again. If Kamara somehow pushes, then it's a 2-pick power play. And let's say you put 100 on it, Tank Dell and Dalton Schultz get 4, then boom, your 100 turns to 300. But these are very easy. Robert Woods being out, Tank Dell 3.5, Dalton Schultz 3.5. They could easily get 4 receptions before halftime. I wanted to just share that news. I really think I think this is probably the easiest parlay you could set up, along with adding a Jalen Hurts touchdown, and maybe also what people probably think is going to be a prop that he might blow out the water by 10 or 15 yards, which had opened at 68. He's still at 70.5 now. Breece Hall over 70.5 yards. But with that take of the Robert Woods injury, the volume of passing that CJ Stroud has been throwing, plus from those who remember last year, I'm a big Damian Williams fan, but the running game just hasn't gotten going. Now, could it get going in this game against one of the worst defenses in the league? Yes. But if there's one thing that's for sure, even if they do get the running game going, at best, that takes away maybe 5 to 7, maybe 8 passing attempts. But like I said, if you could even get the basic floor of 27 pass attempts to 30, which is what he had in week 3 and 4 against Jacksonville and Pittsburgh, you can still easily get Dalton Schultz these reception props. For Dalton Schultz in the last couple of weeks, like I said, we'll look at the game log, and he's had 4 receptions, 7 receptions, 3 receptions. He had 1 against Jacksonville and 4 and 2. But it's really within the last couple of weeks where he's been another safety valve, and not even a safety valve. He's just getting down the field. Dalton Schultz is on a 3-week receiving touchdown streak. On top of seeing 3, 7, and 4 receptions. Now with no Robert Williams there, it's almost guaranteed he should be able to get these 4 right here. And then of course with the return of Tank Dell, like I said, he does his main top weapon is Nico, but the chemistry between the 2 young studs has definitely been something special in the pit. Like I said, he's had 3, 1, 5, 7, 3. So with one person out of the way, we're looking at a solid 4. Because like I said, I understand people worried about the whole Noah Brown thing. I remember when he first came in, speedy, that he's a speedy wide receiver, speedy in the slot with big playability. But when he got his opportunities, like I said, 5 and 4 targets, 2 and 3 receptions, he's not going to be taking away much. He'll definitely be the 4th option behind Schultz, Nico, and Tank. So right there, if I had a grade A, now that I really dug deep and more props are popping out, and no, Noah Brown is not here. Because if Noah Brown was on this card, I was looking for him. If Noah Brown was here, Prize Picks would normally probably have him at 2.5, and I'll probably say that's probably a safe over as well. But right here, definitely receptions prop card. Tank Dell over 3.5. Dalton Schultz 3.5. Alvin Kamara 5. Those receiving props have not moved. They've been like this all day. I was ready to prepare myself to do the show and say like, hey, this moved up a half, but no, they're still at a hook, and it's a hook that we could use to our ability because we don't have to worry about pushing, because guaranteed they will get. They're more than likely to get this prop and hey, cash this thing out. So combining with the Breece Hall or whatever the case is, but just to keep it in that same field, in that same prop category, receptions, I definitely love this card. Like I said, Carolina bad defense, and Alvin Kamara is he's the benefit of poor quarterback play and calling the wide receiver just not getting in sync yet, and we're already halfway through the season. So there you go, guys. Just wanted to give you a late edition. Wanted to give you a strong opinion on why I feel this is a great prop and this is a great card. I wish you can pick 2 people from the same team and then power play it, because that would have been. But I think you could easily power play this and get an easy 100. Or 100 and turn into 300. I really think it's a safe power play. Even if Kamara pushes, they will just go down to a 2-pick power play. And Tank Dell and Dalton Schultz will definitely get this. They can easily get this by at least the third quarter. Like I said, Houston's not the most explosive offense, but they do move that ball, and they will try and establish the run. I really do see Tank Dell and Dalton Schultz taking care of this prop. I really put it on a different power play. I did it with the Jalen Hurts. Then just in case I covered myself with a flex, hey, I've done it before where they both hit. Better for me. This is what I'm sweating out right now. We're about halfway in the second period. I need Ilya and I need Quinn Hughes to get some shots on goals. Tough matchup against a skilled defensive team like the Rangers, but we shall see. Carter Verhaeghe pushed, so technically now this is a 4-pick flex. So hopefully at least one of them does something, and I'll be able to cash that out. And as you saw from before, from the earlier prize pick vid, that's the first main card that I did right there. And yeah, there you go, guys. So, but this is what I'm really liking. Also, if you want to add the Jalen Hurts touchdown, the Jalen Hurts one, that could be easily one of those AJ to Devontae Smith caught inside the 5, caught inside the 3, the 2, whatever the case is, and then, tush push. You know what I mean? Like, that's one of those props that I put there. So that's pretty much it. Sweating out this hockey one. Still got 11 minutes left. And yeah, hopefully you guys see this video before 1 o'clock kickoff, because all these games that I'm aiming for at 1 o'clock, you're not going to get none of these at 4. And hopefully, more than likely, they won't move any of these. Because I'm kind of shocked that they didn't at least have Tank Dell at 4. What's funny is Nico Collins is not even on the receiving prop either. He does not have a receiving prop. Nico Collins has like a 60-something yard receiving yard prop, and then he has a combo prop with somebody. I think it's him and Thielen, but he does not have a receiving prop. So I think they would have known. Everybody would have probably smashed that. They probably would have had Nico at like 5.5, 6.5, maybe even 7.5, because Nico's getting minimum 9 targets, and he's getting up to maybe 11, 12 targets per game. So, I mean, not per game, but that's where he's been arranging, especially for the past 4 weeks. But yeah, once again, Grade A Fantasy just dropping off a late Saturday video. Hopefully that's some helpful information. Like I said, you don't have to tell the entire card. It could just be picks that you're like, didn't think about that. But take advantage of the Robert Woods foot injury. 3.5 is way too low, especially for somebody who has been as hot as Dalton Schultz. And like I said, the locker room, the coaches, there's reports saying already they are excited to have Tank Dell. Tank Dell started limit practicing. He had limited practices at the beginning of the week, and I think he was already cleared definitely by Wednesday. And they're all excited to have him back with his big playability. Like I said, you can have a nice, decent yardage prop, and your wide receiver just catches a bunch of short passes after short pass after short pass. In this case, they can catch all the short passes they want. All we need is Tank Dell and Dalton Schultz to catch 4 of them. Alvin Kamara, the way that offense is struggling, at 5, that seems too low. Come on, let's be real. With that news of Robert Woods' foot injury, and as well as C.J. Stroud is playing against a bad Carolina Panthers defense, you don't think all these props are low? I'm surprised Prize Picks didn't start Alvin Kamara out at least a hook to make sure you have to get that 6 instead of like making it a wash and a push at 5. I'm surprised Alvin Kamara doesn't have a hook at all, even at 5.5, 6.5, 7.5. Well, I don't think they would have started him out at 7.5, but knowing Prize Picks, I at least thought they would have had him at either anywhere in the range of 5.5 to 6.5, somewhere between there. But for it to be 5 flat and not move, take advantage of it. A lot of props really don't move like that. Like most of the props has pretty much done their moving already. So when it comes to Sunday morning, not a lot. Some drastic injury news would have to play out for a prop to move aggressively on a Sunday. They might move a yard or two, but a lot of props don't move much. Mostly by Saturday night, early Sunday morning. That's the last bit of movement you're going to get. And when you wake up Sunday, that's what the props are. So, and then of course they put up people just in case that might play, because once they're ruled out, they will take them off. They just don't take them off right away. Once again, no matter how advanced the fantasy platform is, you still got to do your own research and figure out the news. But that's the end of the video. Like I said, another card and 2 more favorite props. Those became my grade A's. Breece Hall and Christian Kirk were my grade A's too, but without a doubt, no Robert Woods and Alvin Kamara. These are just way too low. I say smash these, flex it, do whatever you want, but these are my new grade A picks for week 8 for Prize Picks. This is Grade A Fantasy with another episode of Grade A Picks on Prize Picks, and I'm signing off.